Yo, it's another beautiful day to learn something new. And today I want us to talk about how to grow strong spiritually. As you all know, saizi there's so many things happening in the world. There's a lot of witchcraft, there are lots of dark forces, there are lots of people wenye wako na roho mbaya, there's a lot of religion, fanaticism going on. Yani there's so many things, both good and evil, that are happening in the world right now. And it's maybe as a person umeanza kufeel like, there are so many things draining you, there's so many things you don't understand. Sometimes you feel like you even have a problem praying. You don't even know whether you are on the right side or on the dark side. Hata ujui even unaanza kufeel mpaka hata ni kama relationship yako na God hayuko, wengine you dealing with mental, like hata ujielewi iko wapi. So there's so many happening in the world right now, and everybody is looking for that solid spiritual connection. Everybody wants to be solid. Everybody wants to have a serious spiritual grounding, but so many people don't know what to do. So kama wewe you're among those people, then this video is for you. And for you to grow strong spiritually, you only need to understand the 3 pillars of spiritual growth. Once you understand these 3 pillars of spiritual growth and you work on them, I can guarantee you that you're going to become very strong spiritually. It doesn't matter what your faith is. You could be a Muslim, you could be a Christian, you could be a Buddhist, you could be a Satanist, you could be a witch, whatever your spiritual faith or alignment is. If you just follow these 3 pillars of spiritual growth, you're going to grow very strong spiritually, and vitu zitakushake zitakuwa vitu kidogo sana. Very few spiritual attacks will actually get to you or even destroy you. So now, the first pillar of spiritual growth inaitwa know yourself. Know who you are. Wewe ni nani? What's your identity? And when it comes to knowing yourself, we've talked about this topic so many times, where we talk about knowing your 4 T's. So what are your 4 T's? T number 1 is thyself. Know thyself. Sorry, let's start with thy past. Know thy past. That is the first T. So when we talk about thy past, we talk about what you've been through to the point where you are right now, so that you can be able to understand what are the traumas that you've picked along the way. What are the lessons that you've picked along the way? What are the mistakes you've made along the way? What are the experiences you've had along the way? And how have all these things contributed to who you are today? Have they affected you positively? Have they affected you negatively? Unaweza pata umepick up trauma zenye zimekufanya ukakuwa wewe ni mtu unakuanga na low self esteem. Unaweza pata umepick up trauma zenye zinafanya unakuwa mtu bitter, you're always angry, you're always scared. Wewe na usherati unashangaa mbona like you're only drawn to these things. You've picked up so many demons along the way. You've picked up some great lessons along the way. All these things, you need to understand how your past has affected the person that you are today. How has your past contributed to be the person that you are today? What are the good things you've picked and what are the bad things that you've picked? How do you fix the mistakes that you've done? How do you clear some of these blockages that you've picked along the way? Hiyo ndio tunasema the first T of knowing thyself, which is thy past. T number 2, we talk about thyself. So when we talk about knowing thyself, what are we talking about? We talk about knowing who you are, your self-identity, your role. How do you want the world to perceive you? How do you perceive yourself? Okay? What are your values? What are your deal breakers? What are your beliefs? What are the things that you hold dear? What are your guiding principles? Hizi vitu zote unaziandika chini, unaziunderstand, so that unajua wewe ni nani. There was a time when Jesus was talking to his disciples, kauliza, by the way, new sema mimi ni nani? Wengine wakasema, huku nje watu wanasemanga, hey, you are the prophet, or you are the Messiah, kauliza na nyinyi mnasemanga mimi ni nani? Sometimes you have to ask yourself, mimi ni nani? Like, how do you identify? How do you introduce yourself? How do you view yourself? That is what to talk about when you say, know thyself. Number 3, tunaongelea know thy purpose. What is your purpose? What is your reason for living? Because simply that is your purpose. What is your reason for living? What are your gifts? What are you good at? What's your vocation? What mission? What What are you bringing to the world? What value are you adding in your life and in the lives of other people? Why did God bring you into this world? You know, what are you living for? Ama uko tu wale watu tunamkanga tu asubuhi, you just go to your purpose in this world is just to pay rent and make money. Like, what is your purpose in this world? What is your reason for living? What is that thing that gives your life meaning? Hiyo ndo tunaitanga knowing thy purpose. The Japanese call it ikigai. Now, the last T we talk about thy path. What's your mission? What path are you on? What's your journey? Where are you heading? Where are you from? Where are you going? Your path yenye unapitia, the one that is supposed to lead you towards your destiny, which one is it? And along that way is where you're going to meet people who are going to help you reach your destiny. And that is what we call the destiny helpers. Na pia kuna wengine watakuwa wanajaribu kukustop. Wengine watakuwa wanajaribu kukudrill, kukuconfuse, kukufight back. And those are some of the people we call watu wanakuibia nyota, or the enemies of progress, haters, and all those people. So now the first pillar of spiritual growth is knowing thyself. Kama ujielewi, utaanza kujipata utajipata in a state of confusion. Because if you don't know what your identity is, utaanza kutafuta identity yako kwa vitu zingine. Na hivyo ndo utajipata umeingia kwa mitego zingine huwezi jitoa. So pillar number 2 of spiritual growth is understanding how the universe works. How does the world work? What are the forces that run the world? Who are the rulers of the world? What are the laws of nature? What are the laws that govern the universe? Hapo ndio sasa tunaanza kuongelea vitu kama the law of cause and effect, the laws of attraction, tunaongelea the laws of contrast, manipulation, systems that run the world, tribes, communities, politics, all these things. You need to have an idea of how the world works so that you can be able to know when you're getting yourself into a system that has already been rigged, a system that has been manipulated, or what people like to call the matrix. What are the ways that dark forces operate in the world? What are the ways of manipulation? How do people attack you spiritually? What are the methods of spiritual attacks? Na tumeongelea hizi vitu. So you need to understand how the world works so that wachange tu kuangalia tu kitu hivi, unaangalia vitu na uoni nini inaendelea. So saa zote unajipataga tu umeshikwa off guard. So it's very important to understand how the universe works. Why do things happen the way they happen? Why do good people become bad, and why do bad people thrive? All these things, you need to understand the laws that govern the universe. And that is the second pillar of spiritual growth. Understanding how the universe works is very important. Ndio uweze kuona zile vitu zina happen. And that also sharpens your intuition. You're able to see things before they happen. You're able to decode what is happening around you. You're able to understand the situation you're in. You're able to understand the games that are being played against you. And that is why it's very important to understand how the universe works. Now, once you know yourself and you understand how the universe works, you don't even need to know everything about how the world works. You just need to understand the simple basics. And these are the laws of nature na vitu kama hizo. Once you know yourself and now you understand how the universe works, we go to the third phase, which is understanding the divine. Now, understanding the divine, this is where we talk about understanding God. Kuna watu wengine wana believe in other things. Me, I believe in God. So where if you believe in something else, this is where you need to understand what it is that you believe in, the higher power that you believe in. Me, I believe in God. So that's the higher power that I believe in. And how do you understand God? Number one, you understand God by reading the word of God. The Bible helps you understand the word of God. And the more you read the Bible, if you understand how the world works, you can see the Bible. Now you can understand what the Bible is saying. You can see why God tells you not to do A, B, C, D. Why does the Bible tell us do not do this and this? Why does the Bible tell us to do this and this? Now you can see what the Bible is trying to protect you from ikikwambia usifanye kitu fulani. Ama what the Bible wants you to achieve when it tells you to do A, B, C, D. Now you understand God and how God works. And the more you understand God and how God works, you're able to hear from God more. And God will always come through for you in situations whereby you don't know what to do. You hear that voice in you. You can go to the word of God and you'll get the right word to help you get through a tough situation or whatever situation it is that you're in. So now you need to understand these three pillars. And once you understand these three pillars, you're going to grow strong spiritually. Why? Number one, you know who you are. So mtu hawezi kuja kukwambia auangalii identity yako from other people's validation. Unajijua wewe ni nani. For example, if you're a Christian, you know, oh, me, I'm a child of God. That's your identity. You know who you are. If you understand how the universe works, wataweza kukumanipulate? Hautaweza kujiingiza kwa vitu zenye understand. Because unajua kuna systems mbaya na kuna systems mzuri. And then now once you understand how God works, it makes it easy for you to have a good relationship with God in such a way that you don't even need a broker to go to God. So you don't need all these pastors, you don't need all these, I don't know what. You are able to be in a system whereby you and God have a good relationship, whereby you can talk to God directly and you can see God working in your life. And once you get these three areas covered, you're going to be very strong spiritually. To grow strong spiritually si kitu happen siku moja, because kujielewa si kitu happen siku moja. Understanding how the universe works, it's not something that happens in one day. Understanding God, it's not something that happens in one day. So you need to get into a habit of you need to be very intentional about your spiritual growth, and you work on all these three areas together. So now unaweza jiuliza, so how do I do these things? Where do I start? When you come to me, I always tell you to start with what we call the 40 days wilderness challenge. So 40 days wilderness challenge is this Telegram group that we've created. It's called the 40 days wilderness challenge because it's supposed to run for 40 days. Na hizo siku 40, every day kuna ka challenge, kuna kitu unafaa kufanya that will help you grow spiritually every single day. And this one is open to everybody. Whether you're a Muslim, Christian, it's not about being a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu. It's open to anybody who wants to grow spiritually. It's built on the three pillars of spirituality, our spiritual growth zenye nimekwambia. So to join this group, you only need to pay, by the time of doing this video, it's $550. The price will go up. It always goes up at a certain level. So ukisha join, every day kuna kitu unafaa kufanya. There's like a challenge for that day. And within 40 days, utakuwa umejielewa wewe ni nani, you'll have understood how the universe works, and you'll be able to understand God. A lot of people who go through this phase unasikianga, oh, mimi nilienda kwa hiyo program nikajua nyota yangu. Mimi nilienda kwa hiyo program milango zangu zikafunguka. Since I went through that program, oh, now I have a very strong relationship with God. It's a program that works so many miracles that I cannot explain to you until you explain it to yourself. So if you don't know where to start, that's a good point. So all you need to do is just WhatsApp me, and then you make the payment. By the time of doing this video, ilikuwa $550, and then I add you to that group. You do the 40 days challenge, and now from there, you will know what you need to do next. Because utakuwa ushajielewa wewe ni nani, utakuwa ushajua zile blockages una need to clear. Some of the blockages will even have cleared. Utakuwa umejua nyota yako ni gani, utajua umejua gift zako ni gani, utakuwa umejua purpose yako ni gani. You will have understood how and why it's important to build a strong relationship with God or whichever divine power that you believe in. And within those 40 days zikiisha, you're going to be to have a very strong foundation for your spiritual growth. So if you're interested, just inbox me on WhatsApp. Don't call, just text me on WhatsApp. You don't taona haraka. My number is on your screen. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.